or I could put up a photo right now and say having eggs on toast for breakfast, and there'll still be 40-something comments generally, you know. God bless you guys, blah blah blah. Have a good breakfast, blah blah blah. Do you know how much energy it takes for people to do that?
Yeah.
Like, for me, I look at stuff and I process. I'm like, do I actually want to comment? Should I? Is it? No. But whenever someone gives you their attention or their energy, you have to respect it, you have to honor it and stuff like that. So go through, as soon as you get a follower, even if it's 100, you don't have to do it straight away. But like when you have some spare time, go through and take a few, a bit of time, see who these people are, what they do, or what they might have liked, what piece of content specifically got a whole lot of reactions. And this is what they don't teach you. So people will tell you, look at the analytics, look at that stuff, but they don't understand that on the other side of those numbers are real people with real interests, hopes, aspirations, fears, families, hobbies, lives. So once the more you do that, the more you actually look, who's this person, who's that person, what do they do, who's this guy, blah blah blah. And I do it a lot. I'm like, who's this weirdo, who's this guy, man? And I do it all the time. And then you start getting into the mind of your audience. Do you know how many people have no clue what their audience feels, likes, believes, blah blah blah, and then they wonder why their content's doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one step, because you built a following. 7,000 is really decent, especially since 4 or 5 weeks ago it was only 4,000 or 5,000. So you built 2,000 in a month, and you don't even know how you did that.
Yeah.
Do you know how you did it? No. Yeah, because you haven't taken time to look at to actually look at that stuff. You mentioned that people message you all the time. So talk me through that process. Okay, so what's the message normally like?
Like, it could be like really long paragraphs of
Yeah.
and like those ones I always make time to reply to. But it's just maybe I take a bit of a while only because I just want to reply properly.
Yeah.
And honor that. But yeah, it would be like really long paragraphs of like how they related to a piece of content.
How long do you take between seeing it when it pops up, seen,
Yeah.
and replying?
So I have my notifications for Instagram are turned off, so I don't I only check it.
Do you really not want this to work?
No, I do. It's just I only check it in my spare time.
Remember, do you want this to be successful? This is probably the next question.
Yeah.
How big do you want it to be?
As big as.
How big? I think you can be bigger than Te Speaker and Fresh and all of that if you want it.
Never even thought about that, to be honest.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how big are we looking at?
7,000
is good. I just
No.
chill.
I didn't even have a set goal in mind. I just thought
But answer the question now. Which one? What are you thinking? If you have to look, if there was one screenshot of your life, one portrait painted, that you're like, this is my defining moment. This is the moment when I know I've made it. I've achieved what I set out to do. What would that be?
Actually, that's a good question. I should really think about that.
When I did Blue Book Media, the first thing they said is, what's the vision? And I said, like Fox News for New Zealand, Australia, but bigger.
Okay.
That was it. You can see that straight away, right?
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. Oh, Fox News. Oh, shit. You can see that. Fox News is the largest cable news network. It's got the highest ratings.
Yeah.
And the most viewership. So I'm like, Fox News, but for New Zealand, Australia, but bigger. And that's the vision that you have to have. So, and it doesn't take any time to think about what's the first picture that comes to mind that you're like. I'll give you one more example. I had someone I was working with, and I'm like, well, what do you want from this? And I saw it straight away. In the back of my mind, I said, Oprah Winfrey.
Right.
That's what they want, Oprah Winfrey.